I would not be surprised to see silver gap above $40. It never touched $40 in U.S. market hours on Friday. But I would not be surprised to just see silver gap above $40 and just have a big move up on Tuesday. We're early in this bull market. I think we're just starting the second leg, right? The first leg was just a pure wall of worry. Nobody was investing. Everybody was scared. Everybody thought gold was about to crash. So nobody wanted to buy gold mining stocks because no one believed in the rally. I think now you're getting institutions finally starting to recognize that the rally was real, that gold prices aren't going to crash. And that means gold mining stocks are way too cheap because they're priced for much lower gold prices because everybody expected gold to collapse. But eventually, not only are investors going to realize that gold's not going to crash, but that it's going much higher.
Silver price news targets $41, $47, and $66 as Fed liquidity sparks bullish momentum. The precious metals market is buzzing with excitement as silver emerges from a prolonged consolidation phase. After months of sideways trading, technical indicators are aligning with macroeconomic tailwinds to create what many analysts are calling a perfect storm for silver bulls. With the Federal Reserve potentially shifting gears and inflation concerns mounting, investors are eyeing silver as both a hedge and a growth opportunity. First target, $41. This breaks silver out of its current range and confirms the bulls are in control. It's not just a number, it's a statement that the consolidation phase is officially over. Second target, $47.6. Here's where things get exciting. This Fibonacci extension level represents serious momentum territory. A push to these levels would grab headlines and pull in momentum traders. Third target, $66. Now we're talking about a completely different silver market. This long-term projection would represent a fundamental repricing of the metal, putting it in rarefied air not seen in over a decade. Dream scenario for metals investors. Everything's lining up for what precious metals enthusiasts have been waiting for. Fed policy pivot, check sticky inflation, check economic uncertainty, check it's like a checklist for precious metals outperformance. Now, we'll show you the best clips of the latest interviews, but first, smash the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you do not miss out on our recaps. And check goldsilverstacks.com to get the Stacker's Handbook, the ultimate guide to trading the gold-silver ratio and increase your ounces. With this easy-to-read book, you'll know everything you need to know to stack efficiently so you don't have to rely on market commentators. Enjoy the episode.
So I think this is going to be bad for the dollar, which is going to be good for gold. You know, by the way, so gold was up about 2.5% last week, 32% on the year, 32% so far in 2025. Silver was up 3% on the week. It's now up 38% on the year. But the real stars finally are the mining stocks, right? Hitting new 13-year highs today. We're almost at a record high on the GDX, almost. But the GDXJ still has to maybe double to get back to where it was in 2011. But year to date, the GDX is up 86%. 86%. The GDXJ is up 87%. The best performing stock year to date in the S&P 500, or no, the second best performing stock is Newmont Mining, which is almost doubled. It's up like 99% year to date. It is the number two stock. I think it's Palantir is the only stock that's beating it, and it's not beating it by much. But I believe that by the end of the year, and probably a lot sooner than that, but the number one stock in the S&P 500 for 2025 is going to be Newmont Mining. And it's probably the stock that the fewest Americans own, right? Of all the S&P 500 stock, the ones that the least amount of individuals own is probably Newmont Mining. And that's going to be the best performing stock. You know, I said it on this podcast when Donald Trump gave his first speech as president and announced the golden age in America. I said he's right in a literal sense. it was going to be a golden age for gold. And so far, gold is off to its best start probably of any presidency in history. Trump may not be making America great again, but he's making gold great again, not by intention, but the unintended consequence of his policies, right? He's trying to tout Bitcoin. Bitcoin is only up about 14% on the year, right? Gold is killing it. In fact, Bitcoin is 13% below its peak, right? Clearly, it's not digital gold. Gold's making a new record high. Bitcoin's in a correction. It could easily enter a new bear market pretty soon. And of course, the stock market gold stocks are crushing the returns in Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is still today about 13% lower than it was at its peak 4 years ago if you price it in gold. So despite all the hype, all the Bitcoin ETFs, the Bitcoin treasury companies, the strategic Bitcoin reserve, America being the Bitcoin capital of the world with the first Bitcoin president, Bitcoin is still lower than it was before any of that stuff happened. So how is that possible? How can all this good news and all this new buying not drive the price higher? Because there's a lot of people smarter than the people who are buying who have been selling into all the hype. This is a gigantic pump and dump that's going on with Bitcoin. And the big pumpers now are the Trump administration, and all of their friends are the dumpers. But if you're smart, you'll get rid of what Bitcoin you have, and you'll go down to Schiff Gold, where we work with BitPay, and you'll take your Bitcoin and you'll buy some gold or you'll buy some silver. This is a holiday weekend, so the U.S. markets are closed on Monday. I would not be surprised to see silver gap above $40. It never touched $40 in U.S. market hours on Friday. But I would not be surprised to just see silver gap above $40 and just have a big move up on Tuesday. So I would go to Schiff Gold now or tomorrow and get some silver. Don't wait for that big move up, because by the time the ETF buyers have a shot, they could be looking at much higher prices. Same thing with gold. Maybe gold will gap up. I'd love to see gold gap above 3,500. That would be something. That's a bigger move, because that's about a $50 move for gold to do that. But there's so much that's going on right now, fundamentally, technically, that would support that kind of breakaway gap in these metals. And
in today's news recap, Morgan Stanley raised its gold price forecast for the fourth quarter to $3,800, favoring gold, silver, and copper futures. Morgan Stanley published a report on the metal industry stating that a further weakening of the U.S. dollar should provide a tailwind for commodities. An increase in U.S. inflation could also attract inflows, and any stimulus policies from China would be an unexpected bullish factor for the industry. However, U.S. tariffs pose growth risks as the effect of stockpiling gradually fades. The bank prefers gold, silver, and COMEX copper futures. The bank expects tariffs on certain countries to be raised again starting August 1st, and tariffs on industries such as steel, aluminum, and copper may also affect and push up cost inflation in the industrial sector. Exports continue to support Chinese metal demand, but this support may weaken as tariff suspensions end. Morgan Stanley believes that the trends in the metal market this year will continue, with upside potential for COMEX copper, gold, and silver, but platinum is expected to stabilize after a roughly 50% rise. The bank has raised its fourth quarter target price for gold to $3,800 per ounce, supported by central bank and investment demand driven by a weaker dollar, ETF bid, and ongoing uncertainty, while jewelry demand may recover as consumers adapt to higher prices. The bank forecasts gold prices $3,800 per ounce in quarter 4 2025, marking a multi-year top, as the bank expects $3,500 per ounce in quarter 1 2025, 2026, and $2,500 per ounce for the full years of 2026, 2027, and 2028, respectively. However, Morgan Stanley also points out that there are many uncertainties in the industry. Key issues include the path of U.S. tariffs on specific countries and metals, The outcome of the U.S. Section 232 investigation into critical minerals and whether China will introduce more stimulus measures. Now, smash the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you do not miss out our daily recaps. And go to goldsilverstacks.com to get the Numismatics Handbook, the perfect guide for stackers who want to get active trading gold and silver coins instead of selling their gold and silver bullions for fiat. Enjoy the episode.
Gold's up about $40 since the last time I was in this studio. And his response to me was, who cares? Who cares about the price of gold? And, he mentioned a number of things where he cares about the price. But he says, I forget, maybe it was bread or oil, I forget. But he said, why should I care about the price of gold? Right? He is the anchor in a financial news show. It's supposed to be focusing on finance, investing, economics. And he says, who cares about the price of gold? I mean, how could you not care about the price of gold? Only if you just don't understand what gold is. I mean, gold is money. It's you're a show about money. How could you not care about gold? And when the price of gold is going up, especially like this, it is a warning. It is telling you that there's a problem, right? I mean, even Alan Greenspan, I talked about this, he used to use gold as his primary reference to know whether or not he was too loose or too tight. He used to say that if gold gets up near 400, I'm too loose. If it goes below 300, I'm too tight. Now, what does that say? Look where we are now, 34.50. We've been too loose for decades based on Greenspan's metric. But the gold is the most important price. It's not just a precious metal. It's not just a commodity. It's a monetary metal. Central banks are holding gold for a reason. Right? How could you say, oh, I don't care about the price of gold? Well, what about all these central banks that are hoarding all this gold? Don't you think that's significant? Because, they're not stockpiling other commodities. They're owning gold for a reason. It is the single most important price out there. And right now it is screaming that there is a huge problem. There is something rotten in the state of America. And that's what you're seeing in the gold market. And I'm sure that mentality still exists today. The same one that Mark Haynes had, even though he's not around anymore. I think that idea that who cares about the price of gold, right? What's the big deal? It's nothing, right? It's just a rock, right? They care a lot more about Bitcoin than they do about gold. But if you understand what gold is saying, it is a warning. And it's a warning that you had better heed and that you better react to. You better get out of dollars. You better get into gold and silver. That's what the central banks are doing, right? Follow their lead, right? They ought to know. They're like the insiders in the fiat money system, right? So if you see in a company, if all the managers are dumping their shares, they might know something that you don't. Well, this is basically what's happening. The managers of the fiat monetary system are dumping their dollars. They want out. And they're buying gold. They're not buying other currencies. They don't want another fiat currency. They want real money. You should do the same thing. And the same thing is happening with investors. Not necessarily in gold, but they're dumping their U.S. shares and they're buying back their own stock. Right? That's why, my dividend payers fund is almost up 40% on the year now. It's at 39%. It's on the high of the year because value international dividend paying stocks, that's where people are putting their money now. That's where when they sell in their U.S. stocks and they sell their dollars, they're bringing their money home and they're buying value. They're buying income, right? They're buying these dividend paying stocks. I think we're still early in this trend. We're early in this bull market. I think we're just starting the second leg, right? The first leg was just a pure wall of worry. Nobody was investing. Everybody was scared. Everybody thought gold was about to crash. So nobody wanted to buy gold mining stocks because no one believed in the rally. I think now you're getting institutions finally starting to recognize that the rally was real, that gold prices aren't going to crash, that maybe $3,400 gold is the price. And that means gold mining stocks are way too cheap because they're priced for much lower gold prices because everybody expected gold to collapse. But eventually, not only are investors going to realize that gold's not going to crash, but that it's going much higher. And that's when you're really going to start to see the bids coming into these gold stocks. But as I've been saying on my podcast, the action over the last few weeks has been great because the gold stocks are now leading the metal. Gold is really barely up over the last 4 months because we just barely took out the high. But during that time period, gold stocks were almost up 30%. Get about a 30% move in gold stocks as gold itself was going sideways. Well, now gold is broken out, and I expect another big up move. And if gold stocks were this strong with gold going sideways, imagine how much stronger they're going to be when gold resumes its uptrend. Right? So I think that by the end of the year, I mean, we could be up well over 100% on the GDX for the year. We still have a lot of time left in 2025, and this is already, the best year that these gold stocks have had, probably since the 1970s, I guess. But there wasn't a GDX back then, so it's probably the best year in the history of that ETF, right? And if all the ETFs, it probably gets the least amount of coverage.
What do you think of Schiff's take? Do you agree with him? Are you buying more gold and silver at these prices? Or on the contrary, are you selling like most other retails? Post your honest opinion in the comments section down below and share your gold and silver price predictions with the Stacker community. Now check out this next video right here because it's the perfect follow-up for you. I'll see you on the other side.